Hey guys, welcome to our 5-ton grip truck at Convoy.
You don't get to do the intros, but hey everyone, how's it going? This is Keaton, I'm Derek. We're gonna tour this 5-ton truck at Convoy here in Austin, Texas. All right, Keaton, you built this masterpiece. Walk me through, what your brain was thinking of how you wanted it built out, and then how did you actually do it?
This was the fourth truck that I've built, so I had plenty of prep within like the 3-ton, a trailer. I've helped build out another trailer and a van, and so this was kind of like the culmination of all of that coming together. I've had trucks with varying amounts of like cart-based versus shelf-based, and initially I wanted to be all cart-based on a lot of stuff, but I've found that guys don't want to pull off a ton of carts. They want to pull off some carts.
Yeah.
And so I get it. Like, you don't want to puke a truck for like a medium-sized setup all the time. So the idea was just build a shelf with as much a la carte space, because that's probably the one biggest downside in some of my previous packages have been not enough a la carte space. We always run out. Trucks are always getting loaded heavier than they should be, but we need more a la carte space. So, anywhere there can be milk crates, light mat storage, any like odd and end spots, like we need that. Whether it's this taco cart, the taco cart is just nice, be able to pull it to set. You have a little bit of everything to get started grip wise. Same for the 4x cart. You've got some bigger stands. You've got part of the C stands. The thing is, like, some taco carts end up with 25 C stands on them, and it's just too heavy. Grips don't want to move it. And so it's balancing how heavy can you make your carts, how useful. You want to put as much stuff as possible, but not so much that you're overloading it. And so
perfectly balanced.
That's kind of where this truck has landed, and I can show you on some other packages kind of where I've learned some of that from. But that's like, I've really loved this. It's called a G cart from Grip House, and so it's like their version of like a taco cart. And so I like how the C stands are stored like a normal like C stand, like mini grip cart. Boxes, just general shelves. And so I'd build carts that were like more like special, like this is going to be for this thing only. This is going to be, each little spot for special things. Whereas I found that like actually having just generic shelves can be better.
Yeah, one thing I wish they did on more carts was have like the adjustable shelves that still had the weight. That way you can really like dial in if you're using it as like a multi-head cart and for milk crates. Like, I wish they did that on more carts. I know it would probably cost a ton, but so this side here, okay, run me through. You built it, you welded all of this together yourself. Got the E-track on there.
Yeah, exactly. So it's, I welded all of this, and then there's some aluminum in here. So on some of the previous racks that I've done, I've noticed that it gets heavier than it should be. So most of this is 3/4 inch steel with aluminum tread plate. So, and then down here is just the most organized version that I can figure out, and having a la carte space, which is just something over the years I've learned over and over, is have a la carte space for dolly track. Don't just put it with other pipe. Have spots for lumber, that are separate from the pipe, all that kind of stuff. Square stock, pipe, separate them once again.
So what was your idea for having pipe here instead of the traditional like pipe all the way up the side here?
Yeah, good question. So if you look down farther, having lighting shelf space is really important. And so by doing everything down low, that buys a ton of storage in the back. So you'll see,
because these are only 8 foot, so they don't go all the way in the back.
So this is 8 foot, this is 6 foot. If this is a milk crate width wide, that buys me, out of the 12 feet, that buys me 4 more feet of milk crates. So just doing that purchases that space, whereas now you have your 12 footers and your 10 footers. If I did them all on the side, now my 4x8s have to come right here. And now I lose this, which is 5 feet down the rack, right? All of this milk crate storage would go away if I had to do that.
That's smart. And so on the truck though, you don't have any 20-foot speed rail.
I do. We can look at it later. All the 20-foot speed rail, there's probably 8 sticks in here right now, maybe more even, but it's underneath. All of this pipe down there is easy to get to. And it's not way up. One reason for having the taco cart here, which you'll see most trucks have a 4x cart here, I flipped it because sometimes the grips don't want to pull all the carts out. They want to work off the truck, and that's usually not going to be the best idea. And so I have this where you have to pull this cart, the taco cart set cart off. And so then usually they pull the 4x cart off as well. But by the time you're running up the lift gate 3 times, you should have just pulled the cart. So
How wide's this?
this is probably 36 inches, maybe 40. So it's wide enough you can fit a Fisher 10 and even put like a light mat next to it. You know, there's plenty of space there.
Do you guys use laundry tubs or no?
Sometimes, but that's like I find that in New York people use those we call them hampers, and we use them for production probably more.
For the support stuff? Yeah. So these here, one of the things that I noticed that I love is a little lip weld here. So the milk crates don't fall out of them.
Right. So you just lift them over and these have never fallen out, which is great. So.
And then this way here, these are all just kind of like built-in shelves that you've built in.
Yeah, these are kind of fun in some ways. So I built all of this out and built more shelving than I thought, and almost thought it was too much. It's not enough. It's still not enough. After I built it, I was trying to figure out how to tie in, you know, E-track on the front here, because you want to have a shelf that you can easily get in and you can put the most amount of stuff in. But I don't want to lose 6-8 inches of space by having a strip of E-track, right? And so I just have these where they're pinned from the backside. You just pull a pin, and the shelf, this E-track just pops right out. And so you can load in an M90 super easily, throw this back in, strap a cart right to it. Otherwise, you're trying to find little brackets anywhere to like loop stuff around, and that
is brilliant.
That just loses time every time you're loading and unloading the truck. Company moves. And so if you can have ways that you're saving that time, you know, you're gonna be able to have more time on set to light.
Learning so much, guys. This is cool. Now, these little cross beams, did you build these into?
Yeah, so this is actually just like 1-inch speed rail. So if you're familiar with like a telescoping wall spreader, you're gonna have your 1-inch that goes inside your 1.25 inch. So I just use this. I've used rectangle, which you'll see in the 3-ton, but all these little rivets on the ladders slide better over this circle. So we do tie these in, whereas on the rectangle, you don't have to tie them in. So, you know, plus and minuses there, but you don't have to fight each little bump. So
no, it's a nice addition to use the space above your head for stuff that, you know, it's not hard to access. This is cool though, because this is like, if you're used to being in a shop and hanging stands, you're kind of bringing that mindset into the truck itself.
Yeah, and like you'll see these on like other people's 10-tons, and this is probably like the most efficient way to store a lot of stands, especially when you get into like rollers, you know, medium rollers and high highs. You can twist them in there because you're not going to be able to hang these on like combo hooks. So that's what this is for. It's also great for when, okay, I need 4 more Mambos on a order, you know, just you have a spot to put them.
Yeah. So you could hold, what, this holds 2, 4, so you could in theory hold 16 Mambos if you wanted to.
If I wanted to.
That'd be a big shoot. Okay, and then other stuff, I mean, we see lots of E-track kind of built throughout the whole thing. You've got different stuff hooked on.
Yeah.
Everything's kind of like mounted on the E-track itself. These are fun. So they say U-line, but you built them in here.
Yeah, so I bought these and then saw them online, bought them, and then just built them to fit in here, and kind of built the rack to size because I really like these drawers. They're clean. You know, we kind of went back and forth on should we do like a custom like lumber drawer, because we've seen that in like, you know, if you've seen like Lyndon Real, yeah. He's got that, and like that's also like a typical, like, you know, you'll see that in a 10-ton closer to the office, or like, you know, a 40-footer, you'll see that closer to the office, like all of that. And so I wanted something more durable, you know, the stuff.
And you could easily replace these if you need to, right?
Yeah, that's a huge thing. Absolutely, is that.
I like how much space is in them too. Like it's not like it's all eaten up. Like a pack out, as much as I love the pack outs, they lose a lot of space, whereas this holds a lot of space.
Yeah, you know, you mentioned the pack outs, and I thought about those, but by the time with all that plastic that reinforces it, you lose so much space. Whereas this is great. You can put locks into them that the labels are covering up, but this is just a nice spot. This is like, you know, going to the shop and going to buy new expendables. It's like this, and then once you use an expendable, you don't put it back here, you put it in a used expendable crate. So, you know, we get a ton of time where you're going to use a little bit of paper tape, a little bit of sash, you're not gonna go throw it away after a job. You know?
Yeah, this is commercial land. We don't have that kind of money.
I want to, you know, I want to let people use it. I don't want to put it in a shop. We've got expendable crates full of stuff. Like, come get some, come take some, please. If you're in Austin.
Do we need any tape? Do you need any tape? This thing is probably my favorite post I saw on Instagram. It's this cute little pipe organ, and we're gonna show you guys. Keaton made this.
So here's your handle to pull it out. It's built to fit here, so some of your 12-inch and 6-inch are just in this, and this is a little magnetic door. So
smart.
just pull it off the truck.
And it's got a handle and wheels. If you like this custom pipe cart as much as I do, make sure you like this video and pat that subscribe button. Now, let's get Keaton back in here. All right, so one of the things I love about this is you've got these lights in all of the cubbies. I assume this comes from packing up in the dark, late at night. You wanted something useful.
Oh, for sure. Like, you know, from starting with a trailer and everything, it was always important to have interior and exterior lights on the packages. And so, you know, you've seen that like through every van and truck that you'll see here has lights inside, has lights in the jockey boxes, and then has these external lights that you see on up here. Yeah. And so just having that, like that full lighting package on the truck itself makes it so nice. There's so many trucks that you just have to wear a headlamp inside and you're like,
you got like one of your like 1200s like on, and you're like,
yeah, you're having to use work lights, and it's like, why are you using your own like film lights as work lights? Like,
yeah. This is brilliant. No, I love the build. And so you guys do shot bags here. What's the reason for shot over sand?
Shot bags here are so much nicer as far as space goes. You know, this is 20 and they sit super small. You know, 20 sandbags in here would be fairly large, and especially in the 3 tons, they have a lot smaller jockey. And so fitting a bunch of sandbags in a jockey box of a 3-ton is way harder, whereas shot bags are super easy.
Can you fit more bags in there, or are you weight rated right now?
There is weight ratings to this, and I could fit more bags, but not a ton more bags. What's really nice is whenever it gets cramped, I can just put, you know, maybe it's truck levelers in here, lighter weight stuff. You know, if I had to put a couple cable crosses on top of these, I can do that. Right. We just came off of a big all-state job that had overflow and this packed to the brim. So we were even building light mats for the next day
and
tucking them in here. You know, it's like that. Using every space you can. You know, I love having extra jockey boxes that are just pretty much empty. You know,
nice.
You know, we had some stage fixtures that were coming from a sub vendor. We were just putting those in here, and we had to pull them off the next day. So it just makes it super easy this way.
Very cool. And so what's the power behind this? Is this a F750?
This is an F750 with a 6.7 power stroke.
All right, well, despite the cold, this has been super fun. If you guys want to see more truck and van tours or studio tours, comment below where I should go next. Keaton, thank you very much, man.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure.
Likewise.